watching Let's Chat.
Well, sadly, as you've probably heard, the homeless population in Chattanooga is only growing. But there's hope and there's ways you can actually help. And I'm excited to be here this morning with Don Hopkins, who is the vice chairman of Duoloyi, a nonprofit ministry to help the homeless population. Is that right?
That's correct.
Thank you so much for being here today, Don, and for what you do.
Well, thank you for having me.
Sure. So talk to me about Duoloyi, its mission, how it started.
Duoloyi started back in 1984, actually, but at that time it was a church plant organization. We've planted churches in several countries around the world. The two active ones right now are in Jamaica, in the West Indies. Since then, it's grown into a homeless outreach here in Chattanooga, partly due to the COVID outbreak. We couldn't travel to Jamaica. It was you know, it's quarantined and we weren't allowed to go in there. And we looked out and we found that the ministry that we had been looking for was right in our own backyard.
Oh, I love that. Your hearts were anxious to keep helping even though you couldn't travel out of the country.
Yeah, and we found that actually it allows us to participate even more than we were before. Because when we were participating in Jamaica, it was a trip and come home.
Right.
And then they were on their own for a long time. But here, it seems like there's something new every day.
Wow. So what are you seeing in Chattanooga, and how do you all assist them uniquely?
Well, we had started by helping a small group of people achieve housing, and unfortunately, it was at the Budgetel.
Oh, yes, that's right.
And we had negotiated a special rate through our ministry for them, which actually was saving them about $50 a week, which actually, for people who were in that situation, that's $200 a month. That's a massive savings.
Right.
So we were doing that for them, and then, of course, the closure took place. So we had to find a location for them to move into, and then try and help them get into more permanent housing.
That's amazing. I didn't realize you were directly responsible for helping these people be at the Budgetel and negotiating those low rates. That's very important. So what are you doing now to help these individuals?
Well, right now we're in search of homes. We did find a permanent housing for a family of 6 that was at Budgetel, and they are now in there, power turned on, and working, and it looks very promising for them. So it's a double wide trailer, but they're very happy with it. They've got property, they've got a couple of animals, so it works out very well for them.
So you specifically help with housing for the homeless, or setting that up?
That's where we ended up.
I see.
Because the homeless population, we actually started going down to the community kitchen and laying out clothes twice a year, summer clothes and winter clothes, for them to pick and just take. Our church sponsored that, and Duoloyi was a major contributor in that. And that grew into meeting with people down there. My wife and I actually, we put up one homeless guy for about 6 months.
Wow, that's nice.
We met him down there, and it opened our hearts.
Right.
And showed that we can become the hands and feet of Jesus here in Chattanooga.
That's
we don't
right.
have to travel around the world to do it.
Yeah, we have a lot going on here. And you talked about a family of 6, so there must have been children involved.
Yes.
What are you seeing with the children homeless population?
Well, the stat I read just recently was that there's 1,400 in the school system.
Right here in Hamilton County?
In Hamilton County. And that's not counting the ones that aren't in school. That's the school children, there's 1,400. So it's a massive amount of children that are out on the street. Now, it does include those that are living in cars or with relatives, or bouncing from relative to relative, but some of them are living in the forest.
Oh my, really?
Yeah.
It just breaks my heart.
I know.
As a mother.
It should break everybody's heart.
It should break everybody's heart. I've seen there's a disparate amount. There's a lot of wealth in Chattanooga, and then there's a lot of poverty, and it's eye-opening.
It is.
What churches are you affiliated with?
We operate out of Hickory Valley Christian Church on Shalford Road. They've given us an office to work in.
Wow. So how can people participate? Hearing this is really compelling, and maybe there's someone listening that really wants to help.
All right, dsministries.net. dsministries.net. That's our website. There's a way to donate or message us. Let us know if you have housing. That's the most important thing right now.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for being here today, Don. I wish you the best and bless you for your heart to serve our community.
Thank you.